Right, this is Pericles, the Peloponnesian Wars from Mark Herman and GMT Games. And I'm not going to explain too much up front, I'll just do a quick intro and then we'll do a turn and I'll show you how it works. And completely up front, I apologise to the whole of Greece for all of the names that I am about to butcher. It's inevitable. Right, let me show you this thing. First thing is that there's two sides. We have Athens, the Athenians, and Sparta, the Spartans. Each side has, to put it in a kind of modern term, both sides have two political parties. So Athens has demagogues in purple and the aristocrats in blue. Spartans have Eurypontids in kind of orange and the Aegeads in a kind of deep red. On the map you can see that the Spartans are red, Athens blue. These little things are strategos and they're kind of like movement point sort of things, but we'll come to that when we use them. And it's kind of in two halves. The idea is you're going to do this part first. This is your whole kind of debating idea, what you're going to do, and then this is the map or the theatre where you're going to do the things. The first thing you do is you've got your leader cards here, and for both sides you're going to come up with issues that are here, and they're slightly different but most of them are the same. But you're going to get your issues and you're going to put them up for debate. Then debate them, see who wins the debates, get points and so on, and whoever wins the most debates gets to be in charge. In this case it's the Aegeads with this little marker here, and for the Athenians it's the aristocrats, so they're in charge at the moment. You've got the assembly, which is either going to be neutral or go in one of the political party sides. And you have these little pawns. If you're in wartime you use black, and if it's in peacetime you use white. So the idea also is you get 3 decks of cards, as you can see here. These ones are Aristophanes' deck, and this is mostly for when you first start the game. You get a card, do what it says, and you're off to the races. Spartans and the Athenians have a deck each, and I'll just show you one here. So you have same number on the corners, but the cards are dual purpose. So obviously that's for the aristocrats in blue, and that's for demagogues in purple. And same for the Spartans, same idea. Eurypontids at the top and Aegeads at the bottom. That's the cards. This is the theatre. So all these issues that you've debated, you know what you're going to do. You then put them into the theatres, into the different boxes, and then you're going to, in order of whoever's got the most points and honour and so on, you run through and you get your issues and try and resolve the issues that are on the map. And these little cubes and discs and so on, they are your, this is your land unit there, that's a naval unit, and that's a base. And the lines tell you where you can and can't move and certain other rules. Again, we'll come to all that stuff when we get there. But the other idea is that it's kind of 4 players, because you've got 2 sides and 2 to each side. We're going to do it as 1 player. So I'm going to go Eurypontid. We're going to use the AI called Formio, and he's going to take charge of the Aegead. And the AI is also going to take charge of Athens completely. How do we do that? We use flowcharts. Lots of flowcharts. But again, we'll get started on that. First of all, before we do anything, I'll have to make up what the sides are going to do. So I'll run through that in a wee second. But that is a brief introduction to the whole thing. But it's very, very well written. To anybody who's designing a game, this is the playbook for Pericles, and it's got various scenarios and stuff. We'll come to all this idea in a minute, but it has one very, very, very important thing, and it goes through, let me just find it here, it goes through an entire turn, a comprehensive example of play, and it goes on for pages and pages and pages. If you're making a game and you do not have one of these in your rulebook, I reckon your rulebook isn't finished and it is incomplete, because that kind of thing is really, really, really handy. So if you're designing a game, do something like Mark Herman's done and put in a comprehensive example of play, because it's incredibly, incredibly handy. Right, with that slight rant out of the way, let's get started. Right, I've already done most of the setup, but we are going to do this one here called Isthmus of Corinth, named after this place here. And it tells you here, which you probably won't be able to read it because I've had to put the camera a fair distance up because it's quite a big board. Scenario is 1 turn in length, so we're going to do that. And it says use the master scenario setup for turn 1. What that means is, let me just find the page. It means that we use these 2 tables, and the tables tell you where to put the things for the scenario you're going to do. So we get told turn 1, so we're going to use this column, put these things in these places. So I've done that. That is the Spartan side, that's the Athenian side. So we put these guys in that place. That's it, and that's what I've done there. That's what you see there. So we'll set that up. Uses the entire map. Some of the scenarios tell you not to use certain theatres. It tells you in Athens, the controlling faction is the aristocrats, which I have set that there. The assembly is neutral, and the Alcibiades meeple is there, and the Athenian state ship is there. They could come into play later. Spartan side, the Aegead are in control, and the assembly is neutral. And it tells me that Athens and Sparta are at war, so we use the little black pawn guys. All players begin with 10 honour, which is over there on the board. It does say in the rules when you're using AI that you should really give the AI an extra 10 points, because obviously it's not going to make the greatest of decisions at times. But I don't see why it should get an advantage. I'm a complete beginner at this lark, so I'm only giving it 10 points. So that's that for the AI. Persian War is active, and the victory conditions, blah 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 blah. Basically, whoever has the most honour at the end wins. So that is the setup done. Right, first thing we need to do is reveal one of these Aristophanes deck cards, and that's going to tell us how we're going to start off the game. And we have, and I'm not going to do this in my best thespian voice even though it's in the rules, but we have one. It's called Knight's C. There's a couple of variations of each one, and it says, you shall be lord of all you survey, you'll wipe your feet upon the high command and keep your wenches in the city hall. Seems a bit harsh, but we have Athens are going to get this little owl icon, a league issue, and it says place on the opposition factions 1 space. You know, this would be a 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. And for Sparta, we get military issue, and it's going to place it on the opposition factions 1 space. Bottom part here, new leadership. Each opposition faction immediately receives 2 stratego tokens from the stock this turn. This is the stock for each of the sides, so each side Each faction immediately receives 2. So each of these guys are going to get 2 strategos straight off the bat. Right, the league issue is going to be this one here. That is going to go in the opposition factions, 1 space. So demagogues are the opposition, and military for the Spartans, and that's going to go in the opposition, 1 space. So this card is now done, and we can take the Aristophanes deck out of the game. It's done. Next. Right, more cards. This time, each human player would get 9 cards, plus their leader card would be the 10th. You take your 10 cards, and you take 3 of your 9, and you put them aside. They are going to be your entourage, and you can kind of call upon them if you think you'll need them. So I'm going to take 9. My comrade here is going to get 9. These 2 guys for Athens, they won't get any. They're going to use what's called the Brasidas. I probably butchered that, but Brasidas Solitaire variant, which means that we are going to do less faffing about with these guys and just give them stuff to kickstart them. But myself and the Agiads, we are going to do the whole card thing. So we are going to get 9 cards each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, I need to remember, because I've done this a couple of times, is I need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But his cards are upside down. A couple of times I've done that and forgot to turn them upside down. That was embarrassing. Right. All I'm going to do for this guy is pick his 3 weakest cards, and they can be his entourage. So we don't really know what he is going to do. We've not really worked out what is going to be his strategy yet. So I'm wondering if we should wait. Let's wait. Let's just keep the cards there. I will reveal my cards. And again, we're going to come back to these, because what I'm going to do is work out what cards he is best to keep, depending on his strategy. And the same for me. So, I'm going to move on to what they call the bull segment. And that's where we're going to work out what the strategies are going to be. Okay, before we dive into flowcharts, let's look at tables. This is the Athenian strategy matrix. And the idea really is just, you look down here and you see if 1 is true. If it's true, then that is the strategy you're going to go with for this guy. So the aristocrats, we'll take them first. They're in control. So let's see. Start here. Athens is contested. Well, at the moment, no, it's not. Any granary theatre lacks a friendly base. Well, that is true, because there's 2. There's 1 here, and there's also the Eastern Mediterranean one way to the right. So probably the aristocrats are going to pick that one. We don't have Will of the Assembly, so we have this one here. Contested theatre is Naupactus. Contested. Just have a wee look at the map. Naupactus is not contested. Hellespont is not contested. And I think the other one is not contested either. Corcyra, I think it is. Piece of Calais, nope. Athens is at war with Sparta. Well, that's true. So probably the demagogues are going to go and try and ravage Sparta. So I'm going to have to mark these up. I've got a sheet that I downloaded. I'll mark them on it and show you. And this one is the Spartan side. And this is going to be the Agiads, my good buddies here. And Sparta is contested. No. Will of the assembly. No, contested theatre. Isthmus of Corinth is a contested theatre. So that is probably going to be their strategy, this one across here. So I'm going to mark it up and then I'll show you the sheet. Right, hopefully you can read my scribblings. This is a sheet that I downloaded off Board Game Geek, and I have written in the Aegead strategy that they're going to use. That's just the stuff that's on the sheet. This is just to remind me so that I don't have to keep looking at the sheet. Same for the aristocrats, same for the demagogues. And it tells me what issues they really want and where they want to put them and in what order they want to put them, because that will be important later on. So with that in mind, let's go back and look at the cards. Right, so let's look at these cards and see what we've got here. Now, the Aegeads, they want a military, a league, and a military issue. That would be what they really want. And the issue on the card is this icon here. So that's an oracle, diplomatic, war and peace, military, diplomatic, games, and diplomatic. Now they ideally wanted a league issue, and they don't have a card for it. So that's a bit of a hard cheese for them. They definitely wanted military, so we should really keep the two military cards. The oracle card, we could probably put that aside, and the games card, we could probably put that aside. That leaves them with mostly diplomatic cards, unfortunately for him. War and Peace, we could probably put that aside. But we could just keep it because it's a high number. Ditch a diplomatic one. Okay, right. We'll give him those three as his entourage, and we'll keep these ones. What they mean, you'll see in a minute. But the idea is, we want these icons to match the issues that we want to win in the debates. So this War and Peace card is not going to be the greatest, but at least it's going to be worth 5 points, if nothing else. So these other cards are a bit, well, naff really, but that's what he got. Mine's might even be worse, who knows. So those are going to be his entourage. I'll stick them under there. And that's his leader card. He can use that. So he has 6 cards. That one's 7. Same for me. Now, I kind of gave myself one of the strategies off the sheet there as well. Whether I stick to it is something else. Ideally, again, military, league and military would be nice. But, and I do have military and league and military and lots of oracles, which I'll probably put them aside. But certainly the military and the league, keep them. Diplomatic, not so much. So maybe dump these 3 for the entourage and keep these ones, hopefully, to beat this guy in the debates. Now, having said that, when I say beat in the debate, really we're still the Spartan side, so we don't really want to be getting a bit too ferocious with things. They are the enemy. You know, this guy's not my enemy, they are. So you can't be too strict with these things. So we've done the cards for us, and as I say, they don't get cards, but they will get their issues. We'll come back to that in a minute. We need to do some discussions, some debates here. Okay, here we're going to pick what we're going to discuss, what we're going to talk about in this debate. So the controlling faction gets to go first, which is Aegeads. They get to pick one issue and put it on their 2 space. So these guys really want a military issue. So let's give them a military issue. Then the opposition gets to pick one, and it goes in their 1 space. And I'm kind of liking military, and I've already got a military. So just in case, I'm going to pick a league issue. So I've got 2 in my 1 space. Now, the controlling faction again, AG adds, they get to pick 3 issues of their choice. So he really wants military, he really wants a league issue, and he really wants another military issue. So he doesn't have these, neither do I. These are up for debate. The winner gets them. And he has to pick a third one, which we can either use just a card to get a random one, or we can, usually what I do is just pick a duplicate so he's got another chance. So I'm going to give another military in there, and I get to pick 2 this time. Only 2. So I have a military, I have a league, I quite fancy another military, and I can pick another one. Let's see. I might pick another league one just for the hell of it. So we have our 5 issues that are going to be up for debate. And the idea is that if we have cards that match these issues, then we could potentially win that issue. If we don't win the issue, then our whole strategy could be completely out the window. So let's see how that goes. Right, let the debates begin. So we let the AG ads go first, and they're going to pick an issue that they want to discuss. Again, they've got a military, that's pretty safe, so they are pretty much going to pick a league issue because their strategy needs a league issue. Problem is, they don't have a league card that they could play that's decent. So they're probably going to have to just play a card with a kind of high value. Their leader card isn't much good to them. Well, I suppose they could play it. They could play the leader card because that would get them extra points. Okay, they're going to play the leader card. What the hell? They're going to play the leader card, and they're going to get 5 points in this debate. It is not an ostracism issue, so they'll get a +2, so they'll get 7 for this card. Let's see what I've got here. League issue. So I've got 1. Now, I kind of want a league issue myself. So, do I let them take this one? I would have 3 +2 because it is a league issue, and I would get 2 strategos. But they've got 7, so I would lose this card. So I am not going to play it. I am just going to play, let's see, play this diplomatic one. So it's only going to be 5. I don't get that bonus. It is not diplomatic, and I won't get the strategos either. So it is 5 against 7, so they win that debate. So they will get that league issue. 5 against 7, the difference is 2, so that will go in their 2 space, and they'll get 1 stratego for it. So those cards come out of play. You don't lose the leader card, that just goes back up there again. Right, and that's what we do for the next ones. Right, so it's my turn this time, and I've already got a military and a league, so I'm kind of happy with that. So I'm going to pick another military. So let's see what I've got card wise. I've certainly got 3 military. This one will get me 5 and 1 stratego, 7 and 4 strategos, and 6 and 2 strategos. So I definitely want to win this one because it's going to get me some extra strategos. And obviously, as I say, they're kind of like a movement point sort of idea. It's kind of the best description I've got, really. So I don't really want him to beat me though, because it means I would lose this card, but give that a go. Obviously a lot of this would be done kind of in secret and so on if you're playing actual 4 real people. Let's see. He has a 7 and he has a 5 for military, so in theory he could play 7 and we would be in a draw. But he does want a military issue, so if he uses that and loses that card, it means he's not going to get another military issue, because this card may not be good enough next time. So it's kind of in his best interests at this point probably to let me win this one. Again, you would probably kind of not do it this way in real life, but as I say, we're not really enemies, we're kind of partners in crime, we'll put it that way. So we're going to go with 7 against 5, because this is a military issue. So 7 against 5, difference is 2, so I'm going to get this one on the 2 space, and I'm going to get 4 strategos, and he'll get 1. Even though he loses, it's still a military issue, so he gets the strategos. Right, so it's back to the Aegeads, and they want a military issue. So this is probably where he would play his 7 card. And let's see, I have a 6 and a 5 that are military. So I'm going to play my 6. So it's going to be 6 against 7. So he would win the issue, and it would go in his 1 space. 1's the difference. He gets 2 strategos, and I get 2 strategos. And that is that one. Done. And it's back to me again. I've got what I'm happy with. 2 military in a league. Happy with that. He's pretty much happy with his as well. So I'm gonna go another military. What the hell? Since I do have another military card, I can play that 5 card. My compatriot here has no military cards whatsoever, so the most he can play is probably that 5. But it's still enough that it's 5 against 4 plus 1, 5. So it's a draw. Neither of us win that one. That one is kept aside. Nobody wins. That's the end of that one. Back to the Aegeads to pick something. And they don't have a card for either military or league. So either way, they're going to have to just play that 4 card. Whatever one of the 2 they pick. We'll say they're going to go military, because even though it was a draw, you can still pick it again. And the best I can do is a 3. If he had picked league issue, I could have used that card and got a 5. So either way, I'm going with a 3, so I'm going to go with that card. And it's 3 against 4. He wins by 1, so he gets another military issue. And these cards are gone. Right, so that's the end of the whole debate thing. This one is now pretty much a goner. I have 3 issues, he has 4 issues. So technically we will have 1 card left each. But because he used his king card, he has 2 cards left. The idea being that the last card is just strategos that you're going to get free. So I'm going to get 2 free, he's going to get 1 free. That's all the last card does. So that is the end of the baits. That can go back because it was not one. And these need to be swapped over for other markers. Let me show you. Right, before I move on, I forgot that when you use the king card, you can kind of use one of your other cards there. You can use one of those from your entourage to boost it, and I forgot, but never mind. Right, the idea now is we tally up these numbers. So this guy's got 2, 4, 5, 6, determined by the numbers here. So 2, 4, 5, 6. I have a measly 2, 3, 4. So 2 is the difference. So he will get +2 honour and I'll get -2 honour. That kind of sucks. Oh, I should mention that the only time you wouldn't tally up your scores and do all that is if you were using the ostracism issue. That makes a difference. Same idea here, because what we do is we say who won the most issues? Aegeads. So they stay in power. If I had won 4 and he'd won 3, I would be in power. So he stays in power. And because he's in power, the assembly is in his favour. Oops. When you get the last card and you get your bonus freebie strategos, they come from here, not up there. So another correction already. So yes, as I was saying, we need to swap these markers out for the actual issues that we're going to place on the map. So for a league issue, we replace it with this league issue. Difference being, this one has just generic issue written in the back. So that when these get placed on the map, with my goldfish memory, I will not remember where anything is. So we replace these 3 with these 3. And we get 2 rumour markers. These are what we're going to use to try and mess up the queues and try and delay things and so on. Same idea here, 3 military in a league. We are going to take those out, swap them, and again, they're in his colour, these are in my colour, and he gets 2 rumour markers as well. So these can all go back, and we're going to have to do a similar thing normally for Athens. So normally we would have to go through all of that for Athens, but we're not. We're going to use this special speedy up method. I'll show you how that works. Right, using the speedy method, what we do is we just look at the strategies that they are going to pick. And the aristocrats wanted military, and league, so we just give them that and the 2 rumour markers. Same for the demagogues, they wanted military, league, military, and we give them that and 2 rumour markers. To get the kind of idea of who won, who lost, we just roll a dice. So aristocrats get a 4. Oops, 4. Demagogues get 3. So the aristocrats have the higher number, they stay in power. Difference is 1, so the aristocrats get +1 honour, demagogues get -1 honour. Oh, and these guys get stratego tokens. We just give them 10 each if possible. So we give them 5, give them 10, we give 5, we have 8, and I'll take 2 from there. That gives them 10 each, plus the 2 freebies that we both got, or we all 4 got at the start. So, right, I think we're ready to go to the next part. Right, last thing here is honour. We have these little honour markers. And whoever has the highest score is Honour 1. And that is my good friend here, AG Ads. Second place is the Aristocrats, so they'll go second. Third is, surprise surprise, Demagogues, putting me, no surprise, last. Even against 4 AI, 3 AI, I'm last. Oh well. Right, next we are going to put these markers on the issue side. We're going to put them on the map, so this is where we need flowcharts. Bring on the flowcharts.